and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Off the Dome. I'm your humble interviewer, Jordan Brown, and with me for the very first time is our astounding artist. Say hi, astounding artist.
Hi, astounding artist.
Oh, Cait, thank you so much for joining me. I'm such a huge fan. I do have an immediate bone to pick with you, though.
What did I do?
It had nothing to do with you. I have a very dear friend named Cait as well, who spells her name the same way you do, which is not a thing I knew people did.
Yeah.
And her Instagram handle is Cait Mayhem, spelled like Caity, and so every time I see yours or hers, I don't know who it is.
Oh,
for
no!
A full second, I'm like, wait, you'll post like some beautiful Dimension 20 art, and I'm like, why did Cait draw Dimension? Not that she's a fan, but it's like, I can't believe she didn't send this to me before she posted her name. And I'm like,
That's
no,
so
it's Cait
funny.
May, not Kate Zellers. This is very confusing. I think she's also up in your neck of the woods.
I think so.
Tacoma.
The name sounds super familiar.
Yeah. I can tell you for certain, you've bought gay pirate stuff from her before.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Amazing.
My condolences to...
Why?
For gay pirates. Yes.
Okay, the particular gay pirates.
Yes,
not
yes,
just
yes, yes.
general gay pirates.
Not general gay pirates. Those particular gay pirates.
Understood.
Awfulness of Max.
Yeah.
But outside of that very specific bone to pick, I'm such a huge fan. And this has been so exciting to see, and it's like the season of the fan on Dimension 20, because you were there doing art. It's Sarah Barrios is doing the music video and the intro. It feels really cool to be like, hey, people who love it, we're just going to hire them to do the stuff. How did that come about for you?
Honestly, so I've been posting fan art for ages. I absolutely adore Dimension 20 and everything that they put out. It's amazing. But Fantasy High was my first season, and it has a really special place in my heart. And I was making a lot of fan art for it. And Never After I was making a lot of stuff for. And then there was a Twitter trend going on where it was manifest, the good vibes for 2023. And so I wrote this big list of things that I wanted to do. And one of them said, collab with D20. I want to do something. And apparently one of their marketing coordinators reached out to me and said I was already on the radar. And so well done manifesting. You'll hear from us in 23. And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. So originally I was asked to do some merch design. I was asked to do the packaging design for the dice set. Excuse me, that has come out. Yeah,
this dice set
one. Yeah. So I was asked to do the package design for that.
Stunning work.
Yeah.
I reorganized so that they are in the correct order.
So that they're correct. I love it. So I was asked to do that, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, I would love to do that. And they were asking about other things that I'd be interested in. I was like, I mean, obviously the dream is to be, character artist for Dimension 20 season, but that's far-fetched. And then pretty much the same month I was rewatching sophomore year, and I was like, I wonder if they'll ever do a junior year. And I got an email from Carlos Luna. So that's how I got picked up. They really liked the what they said was in moment art that I had done for Fantasy High and Never After. That it wasn't static. It was in media res, in the moment, candid in a way. And they wanted that for this season's art, and my soul left my body, and now we're here.
Yeah, I fully understand that. The reason why this series kind of exists is Bria stitched one of my videos on TikTok to yell at me for not making a good enough response video to Polly the Bear during Burrow's End.
Amazing.
And she hadn't made a video in 8 months, and she came at me with this wild energy.
Sounds like a Bria, yeah.
Yeah, it fully a Bria, and I was just like, oh, well, if a Bria knows I exist, I'm gonna ask everyone who follows me, because I've been making enough TikToks to Carlos followed me, Casey McGeorge followed me. I had the eye of a couple of folks, and I was like, well, if Bria did this, I'm gonna ask everyone to do interviews. And so,
hey, sometimes you just gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah, and wildly, it worked out so much better than I thought it was going to.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of fan art, though, what's it like going from creating fan art to now seeing fan art of your official art.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Like literally the whole time that I was working on things, it was all very hush hush. I've been working on it since April of last year. So I wasn't able to share anything really. I was back and forth with the ADs and the team and the cast, obviously. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm just drawing fan art. I'm getting paid to draw fan art. And I remember Carlos in a meeting was like, yeah, but then people are going to be drawing fan art of your fan art. Because it's actually not fan art now. And I was like, it still doesn't feel real. So when I see people like take my designs or like, there's already cosplayers, people are like on top of it.
I know several that like they
right?
went out and bought rings immediately so that they could get Riz like cosplay going. Like,
oh my God, insane. So yeah, people figuring everything out and making fan content. It's the dream, right? Because that's like, if there's anything that I want to do with my career, it's to prove to other people that they can do this too. So when folks make fan art, I'm like, hell yeah, that's how I got the job. Keep going, guys, you know? And it's incredible because I never really thought that I would get to this position, especially with like my favorite IP and their biggest IP at D20. And it's just been such a joy, like an endless joy. So it was like the project finished and I was like, oh man, it's all done. And now seeing everybody's cosplays and fan art and all these things, I'm like, it's still going, baby. This is so fun.
Yeah, it's so incredible. It's also though like, because it's not just cosplays and fan arts. It is the reaction to your art.
Oh my God, I can't talk about my inboxes.
I can't imagine. I have a Patreon
like over and over and over. Like, why did you make Riz hot? Oh my God, all the moms are hot. Galier's hot. Everyone's hot. I'm like, guys, everybody's hot.
Yeah. So I have a Patreon where I'm like, hey, if you want like to submit questions, like I'll tell people like the interviews that I've got coming up, and if you have like suggestions for questions, someone literally wrote, how dare Cait make so many MILFs? And that was before
they were
last
already
night's
MILFs?
episode. So like the DILFs weren't there yet. Like they now that's the new conversation.
Oh my God, I love it.
The barbarian teacher whose name escapes me.
Porter?
Yes, Porter. Thank you.
Excuse me, he was already hot with the past season's art. I just brightened it up. That's all.
Yeah.
Everyone's hot. It's D&D. Yes. If everyone's not hot, why are you playing?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. Like I Emily Axford has taught me one thing about her characters, that they're always gonna be hot and have big jugs. Those are her words, not mine. That's
her and Ashley Johnson, right?
Yeah. What is it like making just everybody hot? I mean, obviously, like but you leaned into it real hard.
I didn't intentionally. Yeah, there's some characters that I was like, okay, they have to have this like sultry attitude. There are some characters, I actually haven't watched the episode from last night yet, so I don't know who's been revealed and who hasn't. But there's some characters coming up that are really cute and very sweet. And you know, a lot of the time I was just drawing in my style. But I have been accused of making everyone's D&D characters hot before. So oops, darn. I'm sorry. You're welcome. Fandom.
Yeah. Last night we got, I mean, I don't know how many more there is, but we got a lot of the school, great. Specifically. So like, let's see, Kipper Lily Copper Petal. I had to write her name down so that
Copper Kettle.
Copper Kettle. Thank you. I wrote her name down and then I can't read my handwriting. It's also because my notes are absolutely wild, and that is the part that says Kipper Lily Copper Kettle.
As it continues in the season, no one can say her name. Don't worry.
Okay, great. Well, they couldn't say her name in the first episode, and it's one of my favorite
Kipper Lily
scenes.
Copper Kettle. She's like a tongue twister.
Yeah, they say her name wrong, and then Brennan responds as her, and they're like, "She's still here." Like it's
well, she is a rogue, so watch out.
Yeah. So first of all, just Tracy Flick. That's who she's
super inspiration.
Yeah. Yep. Great. Okay. I felt
as I was putting in sketches, they're like more Tracy, more Tracy, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when she had like pins, I was like, I mean, that's Tracy Flick. Yeah. A lot. I don't want to say most of the teachers. Every teacher that at least was introduced in that episode, we got. So like dance, we got 2 bard teachers. We got the dance teacher, so good.
Thank you.
We got a porter, obviously, the emergency, whatever the new principal,
backup vice principal, Arcturus Grix.
Yes, that one. You have the names down much better than I do.
Well, it's because I've been working on this for months.
Right. Yes. Yeah, we got him. We didn't get Gorthalax, but he is in the preview for next week. We see like his little like thing at the bottom, so I know we're getting Gorthalax next week. Very
he's
excited
the Blood Rush
about
coach.
it. Yeah. It's all so good.
Thank you.
And, the emo boy. We also got the emo boy at school.
Oh,
who's like,
his name starts with a Z. Zane.
Yes.
Dark Shadow.
No, I thought Zane Dark Shadow's the other one.
The ghost? The other emo
not the
boy?
Yeah, the other. The
Ruben
famous,
Hopclap?
Yes, Ruben. We got Ruben last night.
Okay, Ruben, yes.
There are so many emo boys.
There are. It's high school.
I'm curious how much notes did you get throughout from them, like recording the season?
It depends. Really, the most feedback and back and forth iterations was the player characters. Obviously, like they're going to be the toughest and take the longest to do, because they are so particular. They have, it's more than just Brennan giving the information about the character. It's the player. They want to incorporate themselves, but also have like, here's what my character's been through, and here's the changes. And honestly, they took the longest by far. When it came to NPCs, I either had a ton of reference from the last season's, the one shots and the 7, or I was given completely free reign. So in a lot of ways, they were like, go for it. And I don't think I had a single character that they were like, that's not it. So we were just having a really good time, like going back and forth. And I was like, well, what if I made, I think Lucilla Lullaby was introduced, the bard teacher. And I was like, well, what if I made her like a plus size, like yoga mom? And everyone was like, yeah, sounds good. And I was like, hell yeah. So I literally just like, they gave me the rundown of this character. If there was reference, I had it. And I would sketch and go. The turnaround was really tight for this project. There was a lot of scheduling conflicts. It's been announced now. Brennan had a baby.
Yes.
So during the middle of everything, I had to like get every single sketch done for the characters way ahead of schedule, because originally it was supposed to be batches. Turn in a sketch, do lines, do color. Turn in a sketch, do lines, do color, and it was like batches like that. And because Brennan was like, I don't know when I'm going on paternity leave, I had to get all of the sketches done so he could be like, cool. And then when it went to like final lines and everything, he didn't really have to give any more feedback. That was left up to the rest of the art team and the direction team, so that he could go spend time with baby. And so the production schedule of this one was a little all over the place, but I luckily was able to give 110% for it, and it was worth it. I was working off of my iPad in the hotel room while I was in London for MCM Comic Con. So it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, just if anyone looked over your shoulder like, no, this is fan art. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. That's super fun. I love that. I saw someone call it that like it's a Beyonce album for nerds. Brennan like announcing that he and Izzy had a baby, just not a pregnancy announcement, a full we've got a child already.
Honestly, I respect the hell out of it because they're both so busy and they're both so popular. They deserve to have like their moments with their baby.
Yeah, it's very, very sweet.
And I'm so happy for them. I know everyone's referencing the like the episode where he said where he said the only thing he wants in life is to be a dad, and I just the second I heard I was like be a talented ass kid is what that is.
Yeah, it's I mean there's a TTRPG of like housewives content like in the future for sure, like I on track though. So NPCs and PCs. I know we probably can't talk a lot about NPCs because we haven't met all of them. I believe you've teased 71 pieces of art. I haven't been keeping track of how many we've seen so far, but
I think it was 71. I'd have to go back and recount. And some of them are doubles. So like there are different versions of the characters. Like best example is professional egg fort and vacation egg fort. So some of them have like reskins,
Yeah.
but not that many. There was a lot of individual characters.
Yeah. I mean, that's a Fantasy High season for you.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, one of the things that I really love is we're getting like classes for the first time, since like they just weren't involved in classwork.
They were
in
busy,
freshman or sophomore year, and so it's really fun. Like last night's episode was just all classes basically, and it's really fun to like not only get them in the school, but also then get that like bonus of like, here's what their teachers look like, and a lot of Brennan saying the words A-frame for everyone. That
everyone.
Yes. But yeah, so I won't ask favorite NPC to draw unless you have it.
Know if they've
already
been
there.
introduced.
Yeah, that was my fear. But favorite PC, we've seen all of them.
Favorite PC? You're gonna make me choose between my children?
Yeah.
How dare you? It's Gorgug Thistlespring.
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah.
I love him. I love him so much, and I'm so glad he's getting some confidence this season.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah, he has a very fun arc in like last night's episode, talking to Porter about wanting to be an artificer. It's very, very fun.
Actually, I think if we've met Kip or Lily, have we met the current student council president?
No, that's not Maisie.
It is Maisie.
It is Maisie. Yes, we've met Maisie.
Maisie's my favorite NPC to draw.
Okay.
She was such a good time to draw.
Yes.
Especially her shoes.
Her shoes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her buddy does. Very silly and very fun, and I love her.
Yeah.
The idea of a breakdancing bard is pretty amazing too.
Yeah. Did you get like the notes of like Lou fell instantly in love with her, or like Fabian fell instantly in love with her, or is that like
so I got like a huge spreadsheet of all the characters that they knew were going to be mentioned so far, but I actually I was working because I did the projections as well, not just the character designs. So all the backgrounds that you see are mine.
Awesome.
And I was actually working on that during shooting. Like I said, the schedule was really tight. Yeah. So I would get weekly updates with episodes that they had shot. And as I was working on the backgrounds, I was watching those episodes in order to get a feel for the characters that were coming up this season. And so I loved Maisie the second she came on screen. I was like, oh, a breakdancing Minotaur? Are you kidding me?
Who's wearing shoes?
She's
Incredible.
wearing shoes on her hoofies. I love her. And so as the characters were kind of like getting to know them, I was also getting to know them. So when shooting actually finished and I wasn't needed for projections anymore, we like launched into post-production, which was character work. The characters were last. And so I had already watched most of the series when I started working on characters. So I was like, I have to make her the cutest little thing. Well, not little. I think headcanon, she's taller than Fabian.
Yeah.
But
Fabian would be into that. That makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
Looking up to a woman, let's go. Anyway, so I had already had this this like general idea of who the characters were, how they interacted with everybody, and that was so useful and super kind and like incorporating of the team to do that for me, to let me have access to that. Because so often with projects that I've done before, art is the very last step. Right. So I'm kind of handed like, here you go, like figure it out. And with this one, I was 100% in the team from day one, especially working with Rick on the backgrounds. Like that was super collaborative. There were times that what I was drawing into the sets became minis that went on. There's a bunch of different set pieces that are literally just something I painted, and he was like, oh, perfect, and they built one.
Amazing.
And then there'd be like, he would send me pictures. I know in the teasers there's been the mall, and when I was working on that, the color palette was completely different, but Rick was sending me pictures of the pieces they were building for the set, and that was that very like crystalline blue, and I was like, oh, okay, so let me change my whole color palette to match that. And like even down to when I was drawing the chairs in the food court, I was giving the chair backs rungs, and when he sent me the minis, they didn't have rungs, so I went through and I erased all the rungs so that it would match. You know, it was super collaborative, and it was the same way with characters. Like it was a lot of back and forth. I got to get a feel for them before I really even put pencil to paper. And I feel like that's the way to do it, is to get like, they wanted candid characters. You gotta have like what they are as like a living being, you know?
Yeah, that's super cool. It's very funny too that you got all of that because Sarah Barrios got none of that.
Oh
no! Because it's very funny. So I'm press, which is weird, but that means I get episodes early. And so I had watched the first episode like Tuesday before it dropped.
So fucking funny.
And then like her music video came out. And then she saw the episode that night for the first time. So she didn't know what the laser cannon on the van, like that it was the like...
They didn't tell her?
No, she didn't know. And I was like, wait, I know the answer to this? And
they just incorporated that into the music video, and she was like,
yeah.
Oh no,
she was like, a laser's cool. Because it was really funny. Someone like had comment, like I made a video, I think I made a video where I was like talking about how cool the music video was. And someone was like, the laser on the van was cool. And I just made the shittiest TikTok where I was like, it would be cool if there was a laser on the van, wouldn't it? And everyone was like, Jordan, how dare you?
I've been having fun with that too.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Look, if the official crew is gonna troll everyone, I'm gonna do it too.
If we're not gonna be like, you know, causing chaos, are we doing our jobs right? People have been posting their like predictions for the season. They've been making bingo sheets, and I saw one and I was like, there's a bingo in there. And everyone was like, there's a what? And I was like, there is. I'm not going to tell you where, but it's in there. And everyone's like, so, it's fun. It's fun. Just throw a little bit to the piranha pool, you know?
Yeah, that's so much fun. Yeah, and then, of course, like I didn't get episode 2 early, and it was like my worst nightmare, because I was like, how can I taunt everyone on the internet if I haven't seen it yet? And do you know Rowan Zioli? She does really fantastic interviews.
I'm not familiar.
She's interviewed Brennan a couple of times. Anyway, I texted her to be like, hey, did you get the episode? Am I like on the outs with Dropout? And she's like, no, I also haven't gotten it. It's like, oh, thank God. Like, I'm just
really, really busy.
Yeah, I'm aware. And
cool stuff coming up.
Yes. I'm excited. Everything is cool. Does that mean cool stuff maybe from you coming up?
I don't know.
To say? It's all a mystery. I do know. Speaking of not cool stuff coming up, because I've spoken to Derek and Ruby, the projectionists,
who are awesome, by the way. Shout out to them. They did so much amazing, cool work.
So fantastic.
Any animations that you see, all Derek and Ruby. I made assets that they moved around all over the place. They figured out the layouts
the trees
of everything.
Blowing in the background. Yeah, that's so cool.
There's even cooler animated stuff that's going to be coming later in the season. It gets intense, and they kicked ass this season.
Yeah, I spoke to them after Burrow's End, and I think it was Derek made a comment where they were like, and it was really cool because Abria used all of our projections. And I was like, that feels like shade towards the next season. And they're like, who's to say? And so anyway, the projections are amazing. I love that it's also your art.
Thank you.
It's because it's so much fun. I'm assuming you've seen it then. Like, it's so much fun because every time something new gets introduced, you just get the cast doing this.
Yeah, they're like, what?
There's
I can't spoil anything, but there's an incredible Allie reaction. Get excited.
Done.
Oh my God. It was so funny. I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing.
It's all so much fun. And it's like getting to see, and that makes so much sense that it's your art, because it felt so like
unified.
Yes. Yeah. That's the word.
It's cool for me because I get 2 credits at the end.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's very fun.
Thank you.
This is where I have to confess that I only kind of watch the closing credits. I don't not watch them because I take a lot of notes for who is in the closing credits for who I need to find on Instagram.
There you go.
But it's a lot,
I'm one of those people that
so
stays
fast where I pause and I know them, unpause, pause.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that stays until the very end of until the lights come up in the movie theater, because I want to clap for the, they'll never know, but I did it. So it's going out in the universe.
It's good for you. Like I was a production assistant on several movies back in my youth, and
shout out to render wranglers everywhere. Thank you for your service. Oh my God.
Yeah, seeing your name up on the screen is cool, and you're the only person that sees it because everyone else has left the screen.
Right, exactly.
And for the movies I worked on, there weren't that many people in the theater to begin with.
Oh no.
It's fine. I'm much happier now.
There you go.
Because I didn't ever work with anyone like Dropout who pays higher wages to their PAs than other companies, and also apparently hires enough PAs that they can all like do jobs correctly instead of do everything.
Right.
I talked to Kevin Stiller yesterday, so I have like a lowdown on like what it's like to be a PA at Dropout.
Dropout honestly is a game changer. They are what the industry should be, and they're always striving to be better than they already are, which is incredible. So yeah. I feel so lucky to be a part, even a little part of the company. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's Kevin Stiller had posted the picture of the like letter that they sent out where they're like, we're going to do profit sharing this year because like we made enough money to do that. Yep. And like he was talking to me about like, their cameras are 10 years old. They could have replaced all of their cameras because it wasn't like a small amount of money that they sent everyone. He was like, the fact that they chose to like prioritize people is so different. He also was like, I think it's the first time in the history of Hollywood that anything like this has been done at
I
this
think
scale
so too.
Of like everyone
like quite
involved.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
When I got the email, I was like dancing around my office. So
yeah, he said he had hired someone for a 6-hour day to do like as a camera operator, and they got the email of like, we're going to be doing profit sharing. He's like, 6 hours. And it's like, that's incredible. Like,
they care about their people. I mean, corporations are not our friends, but
correct.
The people that are running Dropout are really good people. So
yes. That is the message that I'm so grateful for, because I've built my entire brand around them.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good company choice. Well done.
I have no idea what we were talking about.
It's all good.
Yeah,
I have a tendency to ramble on interview stuff.
Is universally how my interviews go. The other thing about Rowan is she's really smart, and like she'll ask Brennan questions and he'll be speechless for a second, which I didn't know was a thing that was
incredible.
Possible. And Brennan will go, "That's such a good question," and every time I'm like, I can't do that. I got the words MILFs and DILFs and how dare you written down on my notes. That's the extent of my questions.
Well, so you are interviewing me, so.
But I mean, my questions would be pretty similar for Brennan. But I do. Did you have inspirations, obviously, other than Tracy Flick, for art, like general art this year? Like, what were you pulling from?
Like personal inspirations, or
yeah.
Oh,
either way, yeah.
Terpishkor, the dance teacher, is very much based off my own grandmother. She owned a theater, but my parents met in my grandmother's theater.
That's so cool.
Which is wild. But yeah, she owned a theater for a number of years. Is Ellicott City Little Theater on the corner. Anybody local to Maryland. And she ran Kids on Stage, Teens on Stage for many years, to the point that people who were friends when they were like 12 and 13 are still in touch to this day. They run on stage productions is what it was called. They have parties at least twice a year. People stay very much in touch, and she passed away this past year. So when they were like, it's this tiny, high energy Richard Simmons-esque dance teacher, I was like, well, that's my Gamby. So originally her hairstyle was very much closer to my grandmother, but they wanted more Richard Simmons. They wanted the fro, and I was like, that's fine. But her body shape and the fashion sense is still very much my grandmother. She had dyed black hair and red lipstick until the very end.
You love it.
Yeah, and she was always one of those people that was like, oh, what are you being sad for? Just hands. So yeah, that was a big one.
That's amazing. And I'll tell you how badly my brain is broken. There was a genuine moment where I was like, you're going to love her art. And I was like, no, wait, that's not the right response.
I do love her art. So
yeah, I bet.
I love everything I did for the season.
Yeah. The moment that Fabian rolls in to the and meets her for the first time and rolls a 31 for his performance check, just like instantly. Like, I think that's also really cool, because not only is it like the art a beautiful tribute to your Gamby? Did I get that?
Yes, that's right.
Great.
She never wanted to be called Grandma.
Yeah,
So she
that's
picked
fair.
Gamby.
I love it. But yeah, not only but then like that moment of like an instant bond of like Fabian and her of just like, and the class is weeping because the dance is so beautiful. It's like, what an iconic scene. I love
She
that.
was very much like that. You
Yeah.
know, she would always go to the kid who's sitting by themselves and be like, come here. So having that character like described, I was like, oh, it's Meg Gamby. So I was able to kind of memorialize her there, which was nice.
That's amazing. Man. Now I don't want to ask you any more questions because it's not going
That's
to
okay.
get better. It's not going to get better than that.
I mean, thank you.
Um, and so I'd be like, "Oh, what books were you reading before?" Like that sucks.
No, it's fine. It's fun.
But yeah, were there like professional then inspirations? Obviously, other than like glowing up previous season art.
Not really. I mean, I'd used a ton of the reference material from past seasons. Um and the designs were already so unique and so fun. So it was mostly just like incorporating them into my style and aging them up and
Mhm.
showing a little bit more character development. So, like best example, Rog. Rog has really filled out in a way that like you can tell he's an adult now. But they wanted me specifically to reference like linebackers for his body type because he's like on a blood rush team,
Mhm.
like trying to go pro. But also he's, you know, so much more comfortable with himself and he's out and proud. So I gave him the notched eyebrow.
Mhm.
So it's like, how can you tell? Notched eyebrow.
It's the
And you know,
shorthand that we need.
yeah. Like the people across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Rog. And yeah, I had a really good time aging folks up. A lot of the moms I added a little bit more gray. You know, their kids are getting older, they're getting older, they have stressful lives. So, you know, figuring out who is more stressed than others and who has more gray, Sandra Lynn. But you know, showing that there has been actual growth of these teenagers. And I really feel like when teens hit junior year, they're like, oh, I'm figuring out who I actually want to be. It's instead of like, here's what my parents have told me, here's what like the world around me has shown me. Junior year, I feel like for me especially was like, oh no, I want to do something completely different than what's expected of me because I am like that makes me happy to go in that direction. And I feel like the bad kids are figuring that out too. Like they're going to their classes, they're paying attention to things, but they're making priority choices. Um and that is very shown in like the stress mechanic this season. So I was trying to incorporate like more decision based designs. So if
Yeah.
people make a choice, that will show in their character design.
That's very cool. Yeah, I know. I I messaged you because I was also one of the people that like hopped into your inbox to be
Oh,
like
I know, it was great.
just like yelled at you about various things. But yeah, in particular, I know I messaged you about like the phoenix feathers in Fig's hair, incredible,
Thank you.
and such like a and now it makes not makes so much more sense, but makes sense in that like you were there, like like incorporating your art as like, you know, Emily is saying a wizard's paramour as her
Like,
like
yes, it's part of my
introduction.
identity. And
Yes,
of course,
yeah,
she would wear like these flaming feathers every day. It's
yeah,
like, ask me
exactly,
about them. Ask me
yeah,
about them.
yeah,
You know,
um, yeah. Man, it's so fantastic. Everything is
thank
so
you.
fantastic.
Thank you. I had a really good time.
I say I'd written like most shocking note, but I guess like it wouldn't anything like because you were incorporating it more after the season. Um, but I guess like the Galir glow up. Were you ready for that when you got like hired on?
I love that yogurt man so much. And I knew that the big thing this season was that he was going on vacation. And all I wanted to do was put that little strip of sunscreen across his nose. That's all I wanted in life. And they said, cool, go for it. And I was like, perfect. And then the fact that he only has one piece of luggage while Hilariel has like 6, and he's carrying one of her pieces of luggage. Yeah, I love him, and I'm glad that I got to, the man, the myth, the legend, the boy himself. I'm so glad that I got to do him justice and his stupid comb over.
Yeah, I mean, you have skipped past, I think, my favorite part of your art of him, which is the lemons on his shirt.
Yeah, people thought they were pineapples, and apparently that means something with like swingers. And I was like, no, they're lemons. They're lemons. Yeah. They're lemons.
That's very funny. Yeah, because when I saw a guy like, it's one of those things where, so the terrible thing is I get the episodes early, which means I watch them on my computer instead of like on my TV, which is, a bummer, but also a joy. But it does mean like I have a bit more of like reaction time to like pause every time a piece of art pops up, because like I just click my mouse rather than be like, oh no, where the
fuck is the remote?
Yeah. So it does mean like I get to pause and like Galir and be like, okay, what is he wearing? And yeah, like that touch. Yes, his best. That touch was such a great touch of like, it's no more yogurt, but there are still lemons. Like, fantastic. I feel like I just stumbled onto something that you can't say, and that's fine. But who's to say?
No more yogurt? Are you sure?
Was there? I mean, I guess like the strip was kind of yogurt-esque. But yeah, that was such a fun one. I mean, they've all been such fun ones. It's hard.
Thank you.
I think because Galir is genuinely one of my favorites because of how horrible his life is.
But he loves it. That's the best part. Yeah. He's like, yes, I am doomed to this. It's fine.
I mean, obviously, like the just a guy bit from Brennan is so great. When Brennan reads off his stats and they're just like, oh no, he's cursed. And he's like, he's just a guy. Just like endeared him so much to me of just like, hey, don't take random people on adventures with you.
If they're not like leveling as adventurers, maybe don't.
Yeah, he gets hit for 10 points. He's fully dead.
I love him.
So good. I think also one of the cool things, and probably one of the, like, I don't know, benefits for you is that, like, because sophomore year was a live season, we didn't have art.
Right.
And so, like, we're getting, like, a good gap of, the freshman year to junior year art. And, I mean, there was obviously a lot of fan art that came out, but, like, we're getting the first, like, official art of, Ida Eggfort. Unless, was she in the 7?
She was in the 7. No, she wasn't in the 7, but she had official art.
Okay.
I don't remember.
No, she has the pins.
What season? She has official art though, because I was using it as reference.
In Pirates, she was. In
yes,
Pirates.
Yes, Leviathan. Yes. Thank you. I was like, she's in something because I was using official art.
Yeah.
I love right. Ida. I love her so much. My favorite new NPC is Maisie. My favorite old NPC is Ida. I adore her, and the way that Brennan portrays her, especially the way like someone will speak and she'll turn her head really fast like a bird. I love it so much. Very good.
It's so much fun. The fact that she is Garthie O'Brien's mother and daughter.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic.
He plays so well with, he talks about chronomancy, but he plays so well with the psychological impact of multiple lives and how that can really like screw with someone. Like I can totally see how her past life would burn all of her journals and be like, just be a new person. Like, good luck, you know? And I had a past character that I played in a Starfinder campaign that was an android, and that was his situation too. He was like an iteration of multiple before him, and he had all these journals of the people before him, and then his immediate predecessor left him nothing. And so he was like, well, what am I supposed to do with myself? Like, I don't know anything. And so I really identify with Ida in that way of like, oh, I played a character who kind of was dealing with the same psychological things. And to watch her be confident in herself and be like, actually, I matter, as this iteration of myself, and just be head over heels for Fig. It's the best.
Yeah.
And all the fossils in the front yard.
So good.
So cute.
Love a time travel nonsense story.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm going to brag now because we talked about pirates.
Okay.
I've also become friends with Christina Ariel. And I don't know if you saw that she donned the Bob costume and read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was a Christmas gift to me because I had talked to her about how much I love Bob, and she like messaged me and was like, "I'm going to do something for you," and I was like, "I don't know what that means." And then like that day, like she dropped a video of like in the full wings, not the hair because she has different hair now, but like and like drop like she can drop into that voice in like a heartbeat and just like reads the "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." I was like, this is the best thing ever.
I love it. I love
pirates. It's such a good species.
The people that like make these shows are just good people.
Yeah,
and they're funny and they love their characters so much. And it's so rewarding to work with people with this much passion.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Now I am going to sound like I'm bragging. Now it's not intending to, because I talked to Rashawn about Burrow's End, and she was saying,
"Good,
it's absurdly good." Like
I'm still not over the like spatchcock. He'll be ready in 40 minutes. Like that was so good.
Wild. Yeah. The great regret for me is that I talked to Rashawn mid-season, so I did not get to talk to Rashawn about that moment or about Hey Girl Hey. Hey Girl Hey had not happened yet either. Although I did see her talking to Jasper about it on a stream, and because they filmed that in 4 days, that she didn't remember saying it. And so like the episode came out, she hadn't watched it yet, and people were messaging her, "Hey girl, hey," and she had no idea what they were referencing. Yeah.
There's a couple of times that's come through that someone's like, "How dare you?" And I'm like, "What did I do?" And I have to like go and look and see who's been really revealed.
Yes. Yeah. Who did you make so hot that the internet is mad?
Everyone apparently.
Yes.
Sorry.
But Rashawn had told me that I think it was Shawbuck would bring like them aside before every episode to be like, "You're exactly where you need to be. You're here at the right time. You belong here." And I was like, "Oh, my heart!"
That's amazing.
Because like if I was Rashawn and Jasper, even though they are so talented, I was Rashawn and Jasper in the dome for the first time with like Brennan and Abria and Izzy and Erica and Siobhan. Like what a like I would also be like, I think you guys made a mistake.
What am I doing here? Excuse me.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so delightful that everyone seems to be good.
Yeah.
And
they all know how to make good friends.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just somehow becoming all of their friends. That's my only goal.
Honestly, mood.
Yeah. I don't know how it keeps happening, but it just keeps happening that at the end of interviews, people are like, "We're friends now." And I'm like, "Great. I'll talk to you anytime you want about anything."
Hell yeah.
So the Adventure Zone, Dimension 20, Critical Role. You knocked out the big three.
I'm Abria now.
Yeah, who are you going after next? Is it NADPOD art that you're going to be working on?
I don't know. I guess it depends on who wants to work with me, because I love working with the companies that I'm working with, and they keep asking me back to do more things. So I'm never going to say no, really.
Yeah.
I'm down to work with anybody. So, I mean, if you have contract work available, hit me up. I'm a bit crammed at the moment with projects, but I love everything nerdy D&D. I have dice tattooed on my arm. Like, let's go. Let's make nerdy shit happen.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Jasper. Email me back about Malta.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Jasper, also email me.
I want to go to Malta.
Yeah. I've been like, just like staring at those pre-sale tickets and being like, "You can't do this, Jordan."
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I can go in a professional capacity. I cannot go in a fun capacity. So I'm like, "Hey, do you want artists to go? Because I'll go."
Yeah.
I've also never been to the Mediterranean, so I would love to do that.
I technically have. I was 4, so like it doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't
I don't
count.
remember that.
Nah.
yeah, because so I've interviewed Jasper, Abria, and Christina, and so like Erica's the only of the big people missing. I like emailed them and like, hey, I could moderate your panels for you, and like Christina and I will watch Real Housewives on the beach and talk about it because that's what Christina and I talked about for almost an hour.
Hell yeah.
And a show I haven't watched. I just asked her questions and then she like info dumped at me.
I love it.
But yeah,
gotta love when you get nerds talking about their nerddoms.
Yeah, it's delightful. But yes, Jasper, what? Just because you have a 25-day-old baby, you can't answer your emails? Like,
no, it's 100% understandable.
Yeah,
it's such a cool opportunity. I'm like, what a cool project to put together.
Yeah,
and you know, I got his email, so we'll figure it out. We'll see if that happens. If not, it's fine. It's gonna be amazing, and I can't wait to see everybody's pictures.
Yes. You have a whole bunch of conventions that you are going to this year.
Yes, I do.
I've got
and a bunch that I've gotten waitlisted for. Convention season this year is scary.
But MagFest, that's
which is just there as an attendee.
Already happened. Yeah. Great. I'm just reading off the list, which is why I didn't see that those dates have passed. But
all good.
Emerald City Comic Con coming up in February and March. Zenkai Con.
Yep.
Zenkai Con in March. C2E2 in April, and Gen Con in August, and more hopefully.
Yeah. Gen Con, I'm also going as an attendee so far this year. I'm on the wait list, but I hopefully will get off of that.
Yes,
that would be nice.
I mean, how could they not? It's you're
you want to email them
20...
for me?
Yeah, I would love to. Be like,
sure,
hey,
please do.
Dimension 20's official artist, get them off the wait list.
Like, when I applied, I couldn't say that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, the application schedule is all over the dang place. But yeah, I've applied for a bunch of others, so we'll see what happens. But I'll be at Gen Con regardless.
Yeah.
And my current solution, because I was waitlisted at MagFest as well, but I wanted to attend, was I got a cutout of Squeam, and I had him pinned to my back the whole weekend. And if someone recognized
I saw the
him,
pictures of that. Yes.
Yeah, if someone recognized him, I had little buttons that I would give away.
Yeah.
So if push comes to shove, I'll do that at Gen Con too.
I can't believe we're 47 minutes into recording and I haven't asked you about everyone's favorite character.
About Squeam?
About Squeam yet.
Yeah.
Tell me everything about Squeam.
Oh my god, he's such an iconic character. How much of the previous
season's art did you use to like
I had to use so much. I mean, there was so much reference to fan art and like all these other designs. I wanted to do him justice. It was very important.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, I didn't know he was going to explode this much. Yeah. I did art based on his mini.
That's so wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. So I know I said like I get the episodes early, and who boy was getting that episode early a wild ride because I was like I don't remember these characters.
I'm the official artist, and I was Googling.
Yeah.
I was like, am I allowed to Google this? Is this a spoiler if I Google this?
Yeah. I type in Dimension 20 Squeam, and I have like captions turned on. Like I think I paused it on your art because like it has like his name on it, and I'm like Dimension 20 Fantasy High Squeam, no results, and I'm like, okay, if there are no results, this character doesn't.
It's got to be
exist.
a bit.
Like
no. I actually, because I was watching the episodes early, I was laughing about that, and they were like using me a little bit as a test audience. They were like, "Is it okay that we did this? We were worried that it was going to be like not accessible." And I was like, once you got to the adventuring party and you all admitted it was a bit, that was hilarious. It was so funny. But for the very beginning, I was so confused. I was like, what one shot did I miss?
Yeah.
But no, the one shot that we missed doesn't exist. So maybe maybe in future, who knows?
They can have a summer of sophomore year one shot where we meet Squeam and Balthazar and
Yorb Summer.
Yeah, a Yorb Summer.
Hot
Delightful.
Yorb Summer.
Yeah, I will tell you, as a person who's very online, oh boy, were people split on how they felt about that opening.
Yeah. I kind of knew that they would be, but it was so, you could tell how much the cast was having fun.
Yeah.
Making shit up on the spot.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? I like when they have fun. That makes good media for me. And they are so silly. They are so silly. I mean, I know that you've interviewed some folks and probably seen that side of them, but the amount of like razzing they do to each other on the table, and they have this running gag where they'll be like natural 20 and blank. And so they'll do like nat 20 and you have to go give me a coffee, and they'll roll. And it got like way out of hand behind the scenes, and it was very fun to watch because I got to watch the uncut stuff. So if the power went out or a microphone died, they'd be like, "Oh, hold up," and then they'd all sit there being like, nat 20 and you have to kiss Murph." Like, no, it's just like a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So there's like running jokes that happen on screen that you don't ever get the context to because they're just friends.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
That is always how that has felt, because
right.
Like, they will always, like, Brennan, how many times does Brennan start? We're starting with an indecipherable bit that started off camera. Yeah, that's so much fun. I also thought it was very funny. Once I figured out what was happening.
Right. Once you figure out that it's a bit, it's like, oh, okay, now it's hilarious, because like they didn't know anything either. So the whole like, you have a litter of parrots to take care of. Let's off the dome. They were saying
parents, like with NPS, and so like when they talk about that in the adventuring part, I was like, oh, good, it wasn't just me. I also heard parents.
No, they made up so much stuff about them that it's so funny.
They're such good improvisers.
I know. And
yes-anding that everyone just got fooled watching the episode.
About Brennan just repeatedly going Squeam is so unhinged funny.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's the touches his head to yours. Squeam.
What is it? Squeam. No.
Squeam. You open a note and it says Squeam.
It just says Squeam.
Yeah.
Zach was like, so fucking funny.
So good. I could watch them just be silly. I was gonna say I could watch them for hours. I have watched them
me too.
for hundreds of hours.
Me too.
Yeah. This is incredible. We're getting close to the hour, and
no worries.
I don't want to keep you. I do, but like understandably,
right?
You are busy. So
yeah, I gotta finish this Baldur's Gate fan art.
It's very important.
I do have those cons coming up, so I gotta get stuff done.
Yeah. People love Baldur's Gate so much.
It's so good.
I've played 0 minutes of it because I don't have a thing that is capable of playing it.
Okay, well then you should watch someone's playthrough because it's that good.
I should probably do that. I watched a little bit. NADPOD started one. I don't know if you watched any of it. It was. I
don't watch NADPOD. I really, really want to, especially because they were just in DC for a live show during MagFest, and I had no clue. So a friend of mine went and like got to meet Emily and Murph and tell them that I said hey, and they were like, "How do you know, Kate? What?" And it was this like, and I had no idea they were in town, so I was like, "What the hell? I would have gone."
Yeah, and I think, and DC was a dungeon court show, so you would have had you needed no information.
Yeah, exactly. So I could have gone, but I had no clue. My friend literally like an hour before it starts is like, "Are you going to the NADPOD show?" And I was like, "The what?" They're where?
They're down the street. In their playthrough, Murph basically skipped past character creation and was like, "No one cares about that," and then the chat rioted.
Yeah, of course. Was he named Tav?
I don't remember. No,
that's very funny.
They did like the very they did like a tiny amount. I think they changed the name and like did like they changed like he's a bard, he does whatever, and like they changed like a couple of things, and then Murph was immediately like, we got to get to the game. No one wants to watch us create a character, and I was like,
false. Have you heard of Monster Factory?
Yeah, clearly, they have not heard of Monster Factory. I was like, no middle sliders. Let's do this.
No middle sliders, Murph.
Cait, this has been incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way that people don't already follow you if they are following me. But if that is somehow the case, where can the folks find you on the internet?
You can find me at all social media platforms of at Cait May Art. That's CaitMayart. I am that on Insta, Tumblr, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, all of them. Yeah. And if you want to see my art, it's caitmayart.com.
And it's fantastic, and we love it. And
thank you.
Come
see my conventions.
Yes, yeah, go see Cait at conventions. I'm hoping to be at Gen Con.
Hell yeah!
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Have you been before?
I have not.
You're gonna have so much fun. Honestly, MagFest and Gen Con are my favorite cons to attend. They're such a good time.
That's good to know. Yeah, I made a
Bring
lot
your walking
of
shoes.
Yeah, I have. Oh, I was about to grab them. I have the Game Changer pair of Brooks. I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
those.
nice. No, I haven't.
They're not official Game Changer, but they are literally like the Game Changer logo. Like it is truly like it looks like Game Changer made a pair of shoes. It's
I love it.
wild. Anyway, they're so comfortable.
Hell
But yeah,
yeah.
I made a bunch of promises at the beginning of the year that I was like, I'm going to go to cons this year, and now I have to follow through with those. So
They're fun and worth it. Gen Con
yeah,
for sure.
I'm very excited.
I'm going to go to Gen Con the rest of my dang life if I can manage it.
Love
Even
it.
if I can't have a table I want to attend, it's that
Yeah.
fun.
And from what I have heard from John Green, Indianapolis, very cool city.
Yeah, for like that weekend.
Yeah.
The rest of Indiana, oh, you got some shit to figure out.
Yeah.
But Indianapolis itself, good bubble.
Yeah. This has been delightful. I have done so many of these, never figured out how to do a sign off, so I just hit stop recording. So
there you go.
Thank you, Cait.
No worries. Thank you.
One day I'm going to figure out how to end an interview.
To do a sign